Okay, so in this video, we're going to be breaking down the new SAGAN Shinomiya's kit and talking about if you should summon. We have a lot of information to talk about and some things that are a bit worrying in my opinion and make, I think, new units kind of a bit in a weird spot. So let's talk about it. Now, first of all, she is a limited unit where Reno is not. So this means Reno should pretty much be in future unfeatured, right? So if you don't get Reno, for example, then you're kind of chilling most likely, because that means probably on the 18th, just basing ourselves off of this information, she's gonna not be in future banners, but Reno might be. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. So let's go over what she does. She's a fire blunt unit, so that's actually gonna be pretty good because she's gonna have obviously double type advantages that she can make use of. So we have her out with max stats. So we have 70% of blunt and fire damage. It's her defense. She's based off of defense, right? So that's interesting. Now, her skill 2 has a 100% chance to apply a taunt for 2 turns to all kaiju and applies a shield for 2 turns equal to 18% of this unit's defense, and you add 150. So that should be pretty good. Like, that should be a pretty big shield. So that's going to be nice. Now, the ult is interesting because it's going to be giving defense to herself, which then obviously is going to increase the shield right afterwards, which is definitely going to be good. And then gives attack to everyone, which is very huge. And then she does AoE 100% of the defense, which really isn't too much. I think if that was more, I could have liked it a lot better. But like when you're saying this is 78 and this is 100, like it's not that much, right? But it's more of a buff, which it makes sense. But still, it's not exactly super high. I would like for her to do damage when most of her kit is centered around damage. Now this does 121. The ult is lower than this, which is a bit funny. I think this being AoE is fine if it's more for break, which actually, yeah, I think for Fierce Battle 15, you could make that argument, but it's not exactly hard. But she is fire, so that's the thing. Fire might be needed in the future. And then we go here. So, after receiving an attack, she gets 1 stack of Inner Flame, and this is going to increase the ult damage by 22% and damage dealt by 8%. So, I guess the ult will do overall more, but even at 200%, if you really think about it, like, doubling this, it's not going to be that much higher, but still, because of the fact she gives herself defense, which I hope, yeah, before attacking. So this defense is going to be counted in alongside the ult damage. So, you know, you could definitely get some really good things out of it. So I do think that is pretty good. She's going to do damage, right? I think she's going to do some pretty good damage, all things considered. So there is that. And yeah, I think her damage is pretty good, especially just now, right? Damage increase. Now, the biggest thing is that besides Inner Flame, she counters the kaiju when she gets an attack, which is going to do 54% of the defense. So this should be pretty good. The only thing is we're going to have to see if it breaks. Now, that's going to be something to kind of see. But if it does break when you counter, that could be pretty good, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. However, we're going to make a showcase on her, so we'll see how exactly that works out. Now here, when she dies, she does revive. Yeah, she's going to revive with 25% of her HP, which is good. I mean, considering she's going to be getting hit a lot, you might need this. You definitely might need this. And then here, when she does counter, she has an 80% chance to apply burn. Problem is, the burn is a dot off of the attack. She is not going to be that high on attack, so I don't see this being super good, but it's more, to my understanding, going to be chip damage. So that's my understanding, but it should have been based off of defense, then it would have been crazy. And then when she ults, she gets a 5% heal. That is like weirdly ass. It's ass. So yeah, now we have to bring in something very bad. Weapons are new, so this is a new weapon type. Yep. So these are the first shields you could get. And unfortunately, the shields are limited, all of them. So if you don't get them now, and you don't have like a 5-star shield, you're not going to get one in the future. Yep, that's why it's bad, because the shield, honestly, is pretty good. 34% defense. Then it gives crit rate after using combat skill, 18%. And then also giving fire damage. So the main thing here is the crit rate. I don't give a fuck about the defense in this. It's mainly that you're getting extra crit rate. And then also 15% fire damage. But yeah, so what's up with that? I just don't think. Also, the weapon doesn't seem to be too good, because for example, the 3-star only has the defense. I don't even know what the 4-star does, right? I don't. I'm not sure if we could find out. Would be nice. I don't think we can. You guys let me know down below if you have the 4-star, because I don't, right? So the biggest problem for me is that you need a whole different weapon type. So should you summon, let me give my final, or like we'll go over this now. Should you summon? So my opinion is no, and I'll give a couple of reasons. Number one, Fierce Battle, you do not need her. The only thing you're really going to need right now is to basically get your units leveled up, right? Number two, her damage does seem good, but if it's reliant also, or helps when you get the 5-star weapon and it's limited, well, that's going to be a lot worse, right? Because what I mean by that is, let me talk about this. If you go to the storage, right, you'll see that, like, for example, every other weapon type, or most of the weapon types, you're able to just select their weapon, right, a 5-star version. And then you also do have one of the weapons, where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, these you could also select. So the biggest problem then comes when you can't even select a 5-star weapon and everyone else has access to one. So it does suck and does lower her overall value. So if you're not a pay to win player and you can't guarantee that weapon, then it's going to be better off to not summon on this unit if you could only have access, if you have to get a bit lucky on that 3-star weapon. So in some cases you might not even have a weapon, right? Because if you don't even get this, then you're not going to have a weapon, which is crazy to think about. So I really do think it's a bit unfortunate, but I do think that Sagan really is a skip, because it's hard to guarantee that 5-star weapon, and if you don't have that 5-star weapon, it's going to lower her value for you. Also, because she does blunt, she does overlap with the Sao. The only thing is the fire damage. Since it's the dual typing, it is pretty good. For sure, it's pretty good. So there's also the fact that it ends on the 30th, and by this point, on the 30th, we're going to also have Fierce Battle, and we're going to have the Raid. So in both instances, we're going to be able to see if she's needed for either or, and that's going to basically make it that you don't need to summon right now, and you could summon in up to 22 days from now. So I think it's completely fine if you don't summon right now and kind of just wait. So that's the main thing. I think it's fine to just wait and see how exactly Shinomiya is going to be working, and I think that's more than fine. I think that's more than fine. And I also think that they're probably going to be releasing a new unit on I think the 18th or the 20th. Whenever I think Reno leaves, we might be getting a new unit, which is a bit yikes. Not sure how to feel about that, but I could almost guarantee it. Not 100%, but it does seem very, to me it seems certain that we might be getting a new unit, which is a bit rough, right? It is a bit rough, but I think it's possible because there's going to be stuff going on in the anime that I could definitely see coming out in game at the same time. Is it confirmed? No, take it with a grain of salt, but I do think it's possible. So I'd say it's better to save for actual units from the IP and not units that are original units. So that's my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you think. I do think it's better not to summon for Shinomiya. She is pretty good, but as of right now, not needed. We'll see how she works, how her damage is. I'm going to do a showcase later today with a 3-star weapon, which is wonderful. So that's going to be it. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.